Goes without saying, right? Here we go. Good morning, everyone. It's day 5. It might not be morning. I think it is morning, probably when most people are watching this, or maybe when you get round to watching it, it might be a different time of the day. Who knows? But thank you very much for being here today. This is the summary of what has been an awesome week. I think there's only one word to describe this week, actually, or maybe 2 words. The first word I would say is powerful, and the second word I would say is astonishing. I think this week is astonishing. I don't mind telling you, if I was watching this week, I would be so ridiculously fired up. I probably would have made just as many notes as I would have made. Pete, what are you talking about? Well, we're going to look at where the real power in life comes from today. And I want to astonish you. I want to fire you guys up to be absolutely, truly amazing, even though you already are. And I'm going to record this as a podcast as well. So this will be available in a few weeks as a podcast. So I'm going to record that right here, right now. So welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Unleash Your Power. And what I want to share with you today is everything that you need to know in order for you to be the most powerful human being you can possibly be. Now, I know many of you are watching this live. Many of you may be watching this later on. But how many of you would actually like to have more power? Now, of course, the answer has to be yes. And so, well, what would you use that power for? Well, most of you know now that power is your ability to do something in a particular way. So I don't know how many things in your life, you kind of have to do, but how many of you would like to do some of those things in a more powerful way? The answer is either yes or no. Whether you do or not, it's like saying to someone, listen, hey, how many of you would like to be slimmer, fitter, healthier, financially free, anything you want, break a habit, conquer a fear? How many of you would like that? And the only thing you'd have to do to get it is to put up your hand. How many of you would just go, here's a hand, here's an arm, here's another arm, because that's what I want? Well, of course, the majority of people would. Now, I don't know if everyone would do it because I don't know everyone. All I know is I've spent 25 years of my life working with people from all different walks of life and helped people achieve great things, as many of you know, from winning world titles to losing weight to conquering fears, to just learning to like and appreciate themselves, to make someone or to inspire someone to be a better version of themselves. A slight Freudian slip there, because I can't make anyone better, but I can definitely inspire you to be better than you are today. And I think, or I believe, that we all want to grow. And this is where a lot of our negativity comes from, because you have a choice, right? You can either power up or power down, or you can kind of just be in no man's land. So what I'd like you to think about right now is a gauge that can measure your power. So you've got full, you've got in the middle, and you've got empty. And I want all of you, I challenge you to start thinking about, when are you most powerful? And really, people lack power when they are critical. Really, I mean, being overly critical. It's not mean being critical of someone, is really suggesting something to you, or there's always a time and a place. But when you're overcritical and you criticize other people, and if you want to really bring down your power, criticize yourself. It's easy to do. Most of us have spent a lifetime doing that. We know we live in a world that basically would love you to be self-critical, so that you then go and do something that you don't really need to do, like buy some ice cream to temporarily make yourself feel better, or go and buy a pair of shoes, or go and buy an Apple product. To criticize, because no one wants to be critical all the time. We're always looking for a way out, but most of us are looking for a quick fix that gives us a little bit of power, but then we temporarily powered up, then we go back to what we know, which is to be critical. To ruminate. If you want your power to really just go out the window, ruminate. Just go over things. I don't know whether you know that cows ruminate, so they eat something and they swallow it, then they throw it up, and then they eat it again, then they throw it up, then they eat it again, then they throw it up, then they eat it again, then they throw it up. That's what a lot of us do. We just ruminate for years about losing weight, getting fit, being healthy, rather than just getting started, which is the most powerful thing that you can do. A lot of people, when they try to do something, because it seems so big and they don't get an immediate result because we want everything now, they give up, rather than every day saying to themselves, just get started. People who, yes, critical, ruminate, people who are bored, people who stay still, people who don't move very much. Our bodies are designed to move. If you don't move very much, you'll never have much particular personal power. If you've got negative beliefs, and we looked at that, we've been looking at this, negative beliefs are, if you think about what a belief is something that you get a feeling about. So whether you believe you're right or whether you believe that you're wrong, guess what? As Henry Ford said, you're right. And we looked at some of these beliefs. So just some of them. If you've got the belief that I must be responsible for other people, you're never going to have unlimited power. If you believe that you must be in control of all times, you're never going to have unlimited power. If you believe that if people knew the real you, they wouldn't like you, again, you're never going to fulfill the potential that you have. Now, of course, you might say, well, yeah, I know that, but what can I do about it? Get coaching. Get coaching. Get a world-class coach and get someone who will show up for you every single day and inspire you to go to work on yourself as you start to install new ways of thinking and acting and beliefs. It's the greatest project you'll ever work on. If you want, so let's look at the opposite, yes? Just got my notes here because I've taken so many notes this week. So fired up about all of this thing. So if you want to be powered up, your power will come from your ability to be grounded, to be grounded, to feel comfortable where you are, your ability to be passionate about something, your ability to have no regrets, to be financially free. Believe it or not, most people, or a lot of people who are financially free, they have a lot of power, not just power in terms of buying things, but money doesn't become something which they spend a lot of time worried about, which is another massive reason why people lack power, because they're constantly thinking about how they're going to pay their debt off or how they're going to survive. So this is ultimate power, if you like, to be totally free. People who have a lot of personal power, they've forgiven themselves often to what they've done to themselves. Many times they've forgiven other people. They're very grateful. They have so much gratitude for life. And they really focus on three things: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So they feel that they're writing their life every single day. They recognize their life is important. They have a purpose, which is often bigger than them. They realize, okay, I want to make a difference to my life, but in doing that, I want to make a difference to your life. And they're mastering, they're getting better at things. So this is some of the most crucial and some of the most powerful information I will ever give you in your life. And I know that if you really start to apply this, your life will never, ever be the same. If every day you think to yourself, okay, I want to get powered up. So this morning, I had an adequate night's sleep, but my alarm still went off at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I would be lying if the first voice when it went off was maybe just another hour in bed. That was the first words I said to myself. Now, if you want your power to go down, listen to the negative voice in your head and pay attention to it. I use the negative voice in my head for me to say to myself, I'm going to do the opposite. Thanks for the suggestion, but I want to do the opposite. Why? Because I want to get up, I want to start learning, I want to start growing mentally, physically, emotionally. I spend the first few hours every day growing. So you can grow mentally, physically, emotionally. Some people would say you can even grow spiritually or soulfully. It's up to you what you believe, but let's just look at the facts. How do you grow mentally? Well, you need to train your focus. Your your challenge right now, listening to this, watching this, is to keep focused on it rather than looking at something else. How many likes or how many tweets or whatever, this is your biggest asset is your attention. Your biggest asset is your focus. If you don't look to mentally power yourself up, and the best way to do that without a doubt is meditation. There's no question about it. Practicing mindfulness, practicing training your mind. We haven't developed the applications still. We've developed them for computers, but computers still, they can only process one thing at a time. They'll be doing other things in the background like us. But if you want to power yourself up mentally, learn to focus your mind through the practice of meditation. If you want to power up physically, well, guess what you got to do? You got to move. You have to move. Every cell of your body is charged. There is an electron around every cell that is charged to boom, boom, boom. That's why I'm more powerful standing up talking to you, because my body is in a place where it's being charged by my movement. Does this make sense? This is all common sense, but common sense isn't always common practice, right, guys? So what we're doing here is giving you the opportunity to look at things differently, because that is when people change. Real power comes where you start to look at things differently and go, I never thought of it like that. Maybe I could do it like this. Maybe I could do it like that, and then commit. So if you want to develop yourself physically, you've definitely got to move. And you've got to have, if you want to develop yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, you have to have a purpose, a burning desire. It's the starting point of all achievement. And I know this is a big challenge for a lot of people, because their burning desire was never really their burning desire in the first place. In many cases, many of us are doing things to fulfill other people's hopes and dreams. Many of our parents do that for their children, which is really nice. Many of us do that for our employers. You know, we fulfill their dreams rather than think, what am I really passionate about? And I'm committed to being here and a constant force in your life to help you figure that out. If any of you know what your purpose is, tell a few people. Mine is to inspire 100 million people around the world to be better than their best. That's what I'm here to do. What about you? And, you know, there is a price for this power. To get it, you have to do something. And the biggest challenge you have is in here. Is that voice going, no, just stay where we are, because we're familiar with this. This is nice. Rather than wanting to not just survive, but to thrive, to create a life of meaning, of value, of purpose. And I tell you one thing, my friends, I tell you one thing. You will never find a more positive, powerful community than the My365 community. Go out and look for one, please, and then tell me about it, because I'd love to find out about that community. But this community is phenomenal. Yesterday, a lady who I've known for many years posted some pictures of her and how much weight she's lost. Mandy Munford, incredible story, amazing. But the amount of people that wanted to go and commend her and say, well done, I'm inspired by you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because if you want power, get yourself in a powerful, gritty community. You want to develop your power? Get gritty. What is grit? Grit? It's intense passion and intense desire, or passion and discipline together. So let's just bring this to an end. I'm going to do a whole masterclass on this. It's too big. It's too important. And our elite members, you're going to get access. You will have access to that when we launch it. We've still got to make it, first of all. But to think about who you are today, and this is a big one. So picture two smiley faces. Everyone picture two smiley faces. Powerful people have an ideal self. Powerful people know who they want to become in 5 years' time. We call this future casting, where you see yourself in the future and you think, this is the person I'm committed to being. And of course, this takes practice, because most people don't think about where they're going. They might know where they're going tonight or this weekend, but they don't know where they're going in 5 years' time. So you can do this. You have an imagination. It's the greatest gift you've been given, your ability to come up with ideas and bring those ideas into fruition. But when you think about the person that you want to become, think about two smiley faces. So a smiley face is when you think about your future self. If you did something today, like, for example, you went for a walk or you ate well, think about whether your future self would smile, be neutral, or be really upset about what you did. If you chose to eat loads of, I don't know, junk food, if you turned to just sit in front of the television all day, or you just ruminated all day, would your future self be like, wow, that's amazing? We're like, hey, what are you doing? We need to make ourselves proud. That song by M People, Proud. What have you done today to make yourself feel proud? And lastly, two things. One of those things which is so important, without any doubt, is action. Powerful people take action. And that's why we are a massive fan of
4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go. 5.
So if you think about, a spaceship, people say 90% of a spaceship's energy goes in liftoff, and then when it's off into space, it's much easier. So getting ourselves is called activation energy. And the best way to activate your energy is to just get started. And it's a challenge. It's what got me out of bed this morning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's got me what started yoga. But this morning, I didn't feel like doing it, because it's effort. But I know I feel better for doing it. And starting these broadcasts, it's not just about getting started. It's about putting yourself in a state where I am ready to do this broadcast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. It's such a simple thing to do. It's so simple that you won't do it. Most of you won't do it, but that's okay. I'm not looking for everyone. I'm looking for the few people that go, you know what, Pete? My 365 is an opportunity for me to be incredible. You'll never find anyone like me who will do what he's doing for you. We've done 100 podcasts. We've done, I don't know how many broadcasts we've done. We're doing it for you. Every one of you that's listening or watching this is for you. It's not for anybody else. It's for you. You deserve it. But whether you do anything with this, that is ultimately your choice. We appreciate all of our members, and I've actually now decided that this will be our 100th podcast. Why not? We have the power. I think next week we're launching number 99. Let's launch this one. What a great podcast. The 100th. If you haven't checked out our podcast, find it, subscribe, My365, and listen to some great stories of other people. But other people's stories, they're not as great as the story that you're going to create, because it's your story. This has been a great week. And I personally, I know some of you, you show up every day. Some of you don't, but it doesn't matter what you've done. It's a matter of what you're going to do. I've written 18 books. Most of them are here. Great. So what? That's done. What am I going to do? Get bigger, get better, get brighter, get bolder, and move forwards with so many of you as we change the world. I am looking for every single one of you, whether you're listening to this as a podcast, whether you're watching this now. What have you learned this week? What have you learned from this? What have you learned? What's your key learnings? Rather, I listened to that. It was all right. No, listen again. Make some notes. What have you achieved? What have you achieved in your life? Maybe a lot. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do with this information? Keep it simple. Don't overstretch yourself, but stretch yourself a bit, because that's how things grow. This is an acorn. This is the cap. The cap is what supports this, right? Eventually the cap comes off. But this cap is like me. I'm like your coach. I'm not letting go of you guys unless you want to let go. That's entirely up to you. Everyone needs coaching. Everyone does, just like I do. And I had one of the greatest coaches that's ever lived. And you think I'm helping you? You have no idea how much that guy helped me for 16 years of my life. But he's not here anymore. So you know what? I need to do him proud. If he's looking down on me now, I want him to look at me and go, wow, you're doing a great job, Pete. Thank you. That's what I want you to do. Go out there, change the world. Thank you so much for an amazing week. You wait till see what we've got next week. And a few minutes ago, I just said there are two things. There's actually one other thing I didn't say. Love. Kate Caruth, who has worked with me tirelessly, like you wouldn't believe, for a long period of time since we've been doing all of this. She sent me a message this morning about, it's all about love, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's all about love. Loving what you do, loving your life, which isn't always easy to do, but it's a choice, and loving you. So put your hand on here, one hand on top of the other, in between your chest, the other hand on top, and tell yourself this: I love my life. I love my life. I maybe not love it all the time, but I love my life. I love my life. It's not perfect, but nothing is. I love my life. I love my life. God, I dare you. No, I'm not doing that. Maybe someone's watching you. I love my life. Who are you to love your life? We're not here to love our lives. We're here to serve. No, we're not. I love my life. I love me. I love me. Do you love you? If you don't, decide to, and go on that journey to give your greatest gifts to the world. It's been an amazing week. Thank you so much. I'm fired up. I want to keep talking, but enough is enough. We'll see you next week. I can't wait to see people's videos. I want to know, all of you, don't play around with this stuff. What have you learned? What have you achieved? And what are you going to do with it? And if you haven't shared this, share it. Get it out there. Let's be incredible. Lots of love. Let's make a quick 20-second summary here on Instagram. If you aren't following us on Instagram, why not? Bye, Instagrammers. And here we go. 15 seconds, I think it is. Let's turn that around. So it's been an awesome week. Power. Power is something that is within your control. You can be a better version of yourself, but you need to recognize the things that give you more power. It's not ruminating. It's not being critical. It's positive action. Have a great day, a great week. Take care. Thank you for watching. Ta-ta. Ta-ta for now.